Good day to you. Good day. Today I want to address a phenomenon of why so many young people under 19 are seeking psychiatric consultations. As director of the Colombo Empathic Learning Center, I receive many requests from parents harried and troubled to bring their kids because of digitization and also because of the stress that parents feel has come upon the kids. Besides, they have also created problems for themselves because of being too much on the digital screen. So I want to analyze this phenomenon and present to you some facts how parents and kids can work together to arrest the situation and bring some relief, understanding each other. So what do engaging fathers impart? They impart enterprise. Why do I speak to fathers? Not that mothers are excluded. Mother makes it daily safe. Father has to be present and involve himself in a problem when the problem arises and own the problem and not disown the child. We can't be available only when the child is doing well. We have to be available when the child is in need, and don't speak the problem, speak improvement. Don't speak castigation, speak encouragement. So firstly, we have to develop their track of enterprise. Try and see you can do better. Give them a plan, and every morning dad can sit with the kid and check with them, now how will your next 12 hours run. And one important thing is to see that they wake up with sunrise at least by 6 a.m. Then they get their morning by clocks right. Seeing at least the early sunrise or a little bit of it. If not, waking up too early, too late, you miss that early physiological effect of sunrise, melatonin stopping and other hormones taking over. Then at night again after 6 p.m., minimize the digital screen and get ready for the nighttime brightness. So this clip I am doing so that parents can sit together with kids and understand and come to solutions by cooperating together. So father speaks enterprise, prepares a timetable, and by every day he plans to give a forward stretch, do something which is a forward stretch for the kid. So it may be at age relevant. At the age of 4 or 5, it may be keeping him on a bicycle and pushing him. A little later, football match and so on. So the father gives the next step, next stretch, next spring. Step is progressive. Stretch is teaching the child to achieve his maximum potential. And then spring is something surprising but within his reach. So the father always helps the child to extend the boundaries, and your son or daughter will wait till you come home to do something he has not done before. So at 7 p.m. you must be ready for family time. Whatever else is happening on television, it is family time. So you sow the seeds and wait for the harvest. You teach those principles that wait is good and tasting before time is not good, particularly about sexual appetites. So you teach the child. Then I want to read a trouble that arose in the first home because two siblings had a squabble, and God spoke to Cain and saw that Cain was angry, distressed, and his mood showed up, countenance fell. Then the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry? Why has your countenance fallen?" This is often the case, kids getting angry with dopamine and digital rage. We have to attend on this. As I said, before it gets worse, 35% of psychiatric consultations are from the age of 19 downwards, 35%, which is not a healthy situation. We need to arrest this trend. So secondly, initiate, navigate to successful in conclusion. We establish in them a tract of successful in conclusion. So they make initiate, navigate, successful in conclusion, and get them to feel the reward motive. Who says well done? Firstly, from their insides, they get a well done. That's the function of serotonin. Dopamine says do, keep the track, and serotonin says well done, how can I improve? So it becomes a character trait when you check back. So serotonin helps children to check back. So the default mode network goes for 40 minutes for salience, to aim to task and go to the goal, and then another 10 to 15 minutes you check back, serotonin then begins to work. If you are too much on the digital screen, dopamine doesn't come down. So you have no check back, which affects your choices, character, how you behave, because you think whatever you do is right. So we can explain these things to the kids. Thirdly, we develop their executive ability by getting them to think and do the top-down regulation. When they are too much on the digital screen, they go into bottom-up regulation to experience thrill without thinking of the consequences. Fourthly, we teach them empathy, relate to others for their betterment, own their weakness or failure. So how do they learn empathy? When you, Dad, own their weakness and not forsake them when they feel defeated. When a child is losing grades because of his digitized behavior, he is already defeated and he knows he is not doing well. Come by his side, don't castigate him. Help him to improve, stick to a plan, develop a plan, keep a timetable. So the first story, this is what happened. He felt forsaken. He said, I feel as my punishment is too great to bear. That's how they feel. They feel as if they think they can't see the connection between their behavior and the consequence. They think it's unfair. So they are the struggle generation, the Aragale generation. Constantly it goes in their head, unfair. Driven me this day from the face of the ground. So they feel driven, they feel they're hidden, they feel fearful, they don't know what they're aiming for, and they don't know where to begin and where to end. This thing goes on in them. So we have to make peace with where they are and where they can go. Every child must be developed to their maximum potential. If not, there is a frustration. They have an expectation this high, but they are not getting into achieving that expectation by stepwise progression. We have to get this back into them. So we have to work with, fourthly, empathy, relate to others for their betterment, own their weakness or failure. So Dad has to do that because Mother makes it daily safe. But Dad has to help them to conquer the next boundary. Fifthly, Dad says, climb every mountain, envision and encourage. So they begin with small achievements and you coach them for the next achievement. So even exam is a mountain, but you start with a small achievement and for more. So all children are not good at mathematics, but I always lecture and counsel that every child should attempt to get at least 40% for mathematics, because our brain plans and manages mathematically. Our first brain tract is empathic, intuitive. How do I think about myself? That process begins from the mother's womb. Our second tract is empathic relational. How do I go about relating to and going beyond my daily contacts? That's where Father comes to help, conquering every mountain, next step, next stretch, and next spring. Third track is the linguistic track, and if the child is on the digital screen too early, the child's language begins to suffer. So I always tell parents, never give the digital screen before the age of 3. Better before the age of 5. Language scrambles. To my empathic learning center, 1/3 of the kids who come because their language has scrambled because of that parents have put them too early on the digital screen. I'm Dr. Lalith Mendis. My last official post was as head of Department of Pharmacology in a state medical faculty. I am at present the founding director of the Colombo Empathic Learning Center. If you like more clips of this nature, please send a WhatsApp to 074 211 5011. And if you are from abroad, it should be +94 74 211 5011. Every week parents ask to see me because of a kid's study problem, character problem, behavior problem, and it is the digital addiction that makes kids to go towards other addictions such as crystal meth and ice and so on. In fact, some scientific papers have called the digital addiction electronic cocaine, because cocaine also sets up the dopamine. Then kids want to do the same thing over and over again. So point number 6, just the way you encourage your son or daughter to climb every mountain, point number 6 is seek help in the valley. So you teach them to know their limits, and when they hit a valley, the doldrums, they are not fearful to come and tell you. You have a relationship with them, and you yourself, because you have moved enough with your child, as you come home, you pick up the vibes. Something is wrong with my son. My daughter looks frustrated. She looks on edge. That's how you pick up the valley and encourage them to speak about it. You have to sit down, have the good family talk at 7 p.m., then a good family meal. Dad, be always present and fully present for the family meal. No smartphone, no office engagements at that time. Every day, do your best to be present at dinner. And at dinner time, no TV screen, no smartphones. It's all pleasant talk directed at the child. So family time, the meal time, is a time of interacting with kids. It's not the time for political diatribe, fights and criticism, and that's not the time to criticize the government. If you must criticize the government, go to the room, shut the door and do it by yourselves. Whereas family time is all concentrated time for interacting with the kids. You have to plan your family time like that. Point number 7, make reward your operational mode. Means must match how to get to the end. So we teach children that they are seeking a reward, a good reward. Their inside must feel rewarded. And also you speak improvement and reward motive. You don't refer to the past failure. You set him up or set your daughter up for next how to improve. In this you need the good shepherd, because so many things come against them. They feel hopeless in our nation. They will press you to say, send us somewhere, and they will fight about it. So the promise of the good shepherd is this: the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. This thing of never pleased is overcome when you receive the good shepherd into your heart. He gives an assurance that you will not want. He will look after your lack. He leads you into green pastures. He leads you beside still waters. So he calms your troubled insides. And he leads you in paths of righteousness. So when the good shepherd is in you, he is your compass for the direction you have to take. That's why I said that there is an inward path written up, laid up, tracted for your child and yourself when the good shepherd is working with you. And he promises that he furnishes your table, the season of life, and the people you will meet, and the portion of your life. He anoints your head with oil, and he makes your cup to overflow. These are his promises. So your table is, in that season, the people you will work with, your colleagues, your senior, your juniors, and what your proportion of life comes as a God help, God determination of your capacity. You have to work towards it. And the good shepherd helps you to get to it. So you don't have to feel frustrated thinking your expectation is so high and your potential is so much and your reality is so low. Then you have hurt, you have humiliation, you have horror, you have hate, and hexes are things that all the time go wrong. Then you realize this is not just a sociological problem, it's a spiritual issue. So you need a spiritual solution. That's why you need the Good Shepherd in your life. Point number 8, expect acceptance and success. That's what you teach your child. You are not going to fail. In your word, don't talk failure. Yes, he failed last time, but this time you have worked with him that he might have the steps towards success. And accept him as he is. Don't lay down conditions in your voice and tone about your expectation. Work with what is able, and at every stage, if it's an examination, every term, work for improvement. Point number 9, sacrifice and embodiment of what you speak in how you do. So parents sacrifice, and sons and daughters learn from them, and they themselves know there is reciprocation. Count the cost and invest. Keep time always to invest. 10thly, lead by example, entrust, empower. All these come from God our Father. He is the one who brings together a man and woman, father and mother, and your shapes match each other, and you can do best for your family. So we live in an age, family is under assault. It's part of the global scheme. So that's why we must keep our family, and mass migration and hasty migration is counterproductive, as you know. Family sticks together and care for each other. Those are the values of the Good Shepherd. I am Dr. Lalith Mendis, and this talk has branched out from the fact that many parents come very stressed, kids come very stressed, and they are stressed between two things. Recently, a girl came from a leading Columbus school. She's 15 years old, a bright student. I asked my first question, what is the subject you like best at school? She growled and said, I hate every subject. Then I said, what do you like? She said, I like fiction writing, fantasy writing, other planets, how to get there. So they are very enthusiastic for the unrealistic and not interested in the day-to-day work. It's a kind of new bipolar, very intensely committed and enthusiastic for fantastic things that they can't reach, and they are negligent or not interested in the daily things that will bring them reward. So this is the effect of doing fantasy games and digital fantasizing. So we have to debrief them and get them back into learning tracks. We have our Den and Dare Empathic Motor Therapy Center at 374 Leslie Ranagala Mawatha, Colombo 8. Please send a WhatsApp to 074 211 5011 and connect up. How parents and kids can connect together and remove stress and go for their best future. Don't neglect the topic. It's a needy one. I just like, on a personal note, I never believed in God, but soon after my A-level, I came to know that there is a Good Shepherd, man is not alone. I became first in the island in the A-level examination. My college was St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, and I have continued my career as academic. However, we find that brain instruction does not change the heart. Heart needs a change. And that's what the Good Shepherd can do in your effort to provide the best for your children. And for kids, I want to say, if you come to know the Good Shepherd early in your life, he becomes your compass, and paths of righteousness, paths of best expectation get written in your inside. So thank you for listening. We will meet again on a topic.